Hey guys, which do you think looks better? This or this? This or this? Now, you probably say this most likely looks better. Now, before I explain why this looks better, let me just explain how I did it so the people that just want to see the node setup can copy it and go away. So you take a principal BSDF, you attach it to a shader to RGB, then you add a color ramp, you attach that to a color ramp. In the left side of the color ramp, you want your dark color to be. In the right side, you want your light color to be. The light and the dark color should always complement each other. That's how you get this stellar effect. And the dark color is going to be your shadow. The light color is going to be your highlights, where the light is. Okay. In the middle, you don't have to do two grays. You might want a gray. That depends on you, like mess around and figure it out yourself if you want these two gray areas or not. I did it because I want like the original color to show up. Then you may add a color mixed color node, and in the mix button, instead of mix, you set it up to overlay. Okay. Then you attach the color ramp to the B slot and you attach the texture to the A slot. Here I attach the texture to the hue and saturation thingy because I wanted to change the color of the texture. You don't have to do that if you're satisfied with how your texture looks like. Then you set the factor to 1 and then you attach it to a material output. This is how the entire setup goes, okay? Now, why does this work? So I took inspiration from 2D artists, digital 2D artists, and what they would do is they would have their line art, and on top of that line art, they would add another layer. They would color the areas they wanted the light to be in a yellow color or in an orange color, and they painted the colors they wanted the shadow to be in a purple color. Then they added another layer, and on that layer they would paint it with flat colors, and then they would set it up as a colorize or multiply or overlay. It depends on your program and it depends on what effect you want, and it would give like this really cool gradient that I really digged. Would give like this really cool gradient effect to their art style, and I wondered if I could do the same in 3D. The thing I dislike about Blender the most is that it doesn't really like change the saturation of the shadows and the highlight. It just makes them a different value of the same color, and it makes it look very flat. So I took inspiration from 2D artists and figured out a way to do that effect in 3D, and it looks really cool. Like I like how the shadows are like a blue, and I really like the highlights. It's really cool. Now, like I said before, the colors need to be complementary. So, a complementary color are just like the opposite color of what you're using. You can change the highlights to whatever effect you want. If you want like a sort of like a setting sun type thing, change it to orange. Like change it to this orange color. Maybe make it more saturated, and this change it to orange here, so it should be towards more blue. Maybe increase the value a bit. How does this, let's see how this looks like. That looks really pretty actually. Of course, and this also works with most colors. Now let's go back to the yellow. This works with most colors. Here I just tried with purple, but it also works with pink, fuchsia, red, this is a G texture, yellow, green, 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 aquamarine. Okay, it just goes back to green. Yeah, it works with most colors, and this is like a very basic setup that you can do. If you want like a 2D, like a cartoony effect, I think this effect works great for you guys, man. This effect is really, really great. Of course, with Principal BSDF, you can mess around with it and put like proper materials and stuff like that. Maybe mix it with a diffuse shader, mix it with a glossy shader, and have like a proper, an interesting look to your materials. But I didn't want to bother doing all that. This is very simple. This only works in Eevee though. So maybe if you're doing like the material, the principal BDSF, BSDF with thingy, diffuse and gloss and stuff like that, you can probably get a similar effect, I think. And it would work with cycles as well. I didn't want to bother trying to go around all that rigmarole. This works. This works in Eevee. This works if you have a weak computer, and it's very pretty to look at. Also, another trick that I found out if you want to like figure out complementary colors is make a light and set it up to negative value, and set the color to the color you want the opposite color of, and it gives you like the exact opposite color that you want. Look at this, bro. Look at this. Is this negative color thing also works in cycles as well? And look at this, bro. It's really, really interesting. It's really interesting. Oh, yeah, this thing is very interesting. You can only set it in negative value if you type it out. Like the slider doesn't go below 0, and it gives you like the exact opposite color. Like let's make it red, for example, red. So what we will have to do is copy the hex code. Okay, go on our material, set this to this. Here I'm going to put the red color. Okay, and here for the blue I'm going to put the negative color over here, like the shadows. It literally is casting a negative shadow basically, and I have no idea what this would could be possibly used for, honestly. But it's really cool. Maybe if you're making like a black hole, if your character has like a black hole, you can set it up in a negative value so it sucks light out. Maybe you can do that. Okay, and this. Oh my god. Load the saturation for this, and this we make it a bit darker. Wow. Yeah. Maybe get rid of the grays. Wow, this is very, very pretty actually. Like this color scheme itself is very pretty actually. Let me just get rid of this. Wow. Wow, this color scheme is very pretty. If you like go out wearing like a this pink top and this sort of like, I don't know, grayish blue, like green grayish blue pants, you would be the talk of the town. This is a very pretty color scheme. Okay, let's see how it looks like on our model. Ooh. Ooh, this is pretty actually. Wow. You see how like the blue doesn't even look like blue? It looks like a shadow. And that's basic color theory. Our brain sees color in context. So here they just look like they have been cast in shadow instead of being like a blue. Instead of being blue. And here they're like a red light is on them. Wow, this is very pretty. Like this looks like blue to you because there isn't any other color on it for your brain to contextualize it with. But as soon as I put the red in it, wow, wow, it's so pretty, man. I really like how like you can see the different shades in the eyes. That's very pretty. Yeah. Also, this works with toon shader as well. You can make a like a pretty awesome toon shader like this with this setup. That way, you can have your own textures. This you can also make a toon shader like this with this setup. Let me show you how a toon shader looks like. Let's set it to constant. Please work. Please work. Fuck's sakes. Okay. Yeah, you can make like a pretty awesome toon shader with it. Let's set this to yellow and this to our purple or blue. Voila. Like that's a good toon shader. All the other toon shaders, they just make it like a different value if you want like your own specific texture for it. With this, so you can add like your own texture and it just works. I've seen what other people do, and when they want like an object to have different colors, like a toon shaded object to have different colors on it, what they do is they make they select the part they want. They select like the vertices they want to be a different color, and they set like their own material to it. And that's like such an annoying workflow, man. That is such an annoying workflow. Like, how can you do that? You have to basically make sure all your polygons and everything are set in place. This I didn't even bother doing the polygons, to be honest. I just made this model up in like 2 seconds. Right? Even the texture, I just made the texture in 2 seconds. Like, damn. It's even like separate parts. I didn't even bother modeling the like UV and wrapping the teeth, to be honest, man. This is how the teeth look like. This is how the teeth looks like. And yeah, that workflow to me is very crazy, man. Very crazy. Maybe it's because I'm lazy. I'm a very lazy person. I don't want to like. If I had to like set up different materials for like specific stuff, even though for this is very easy to do, yet I still like made everything like a single material and gave them like a single texture. Mate, if I had to set up like different materials to make like a single toon shaded effect look good, brother, that like so much work, and just to get like a subpar result. This looks so much better, man. This looks so much better. Yeah, but I don't want it to be toon shaded. Let's do cardinal. Like, bro, that looks good. That looks good. You can also like play around with the effects. Maybe you want to give it like a sort of rim light or something like that. We can make it I don't red. Set the brightness up real high so it looks like it has like a red light on the side of it or something. This we're going to make it blue. Maybe lower the brightness. Let's try that. Hmm. Oh, I just did the opposite of the. I mean, yeah, yeah. You can do that. I don't see why you would. You just made like a opposite shadow of this. Like I don't see the point of doing this, to be honest. But yeah, you can also do that. Very pretty. Also, for the material output over here, do not set it to multiply, because multiply would just make your image darker. Because I think what multiply does is adds the values on top of each other, so your overall image becomes darker. So that's why I use overlay. You can mess around with other parts as well. Soft light is something I used before using overlay. Soft light also works, but yes, soft light also works. But what soft light does, it sort of like makes the darker colors transparent, and I don't really like that. So in my opinion, overlay is the best. But you can like mess around with others, see the effects that you like, mess around, play around. Okay, don't just follow tutorials, play around. That's how you start learning properly. Play around with stuff. Also take inspiration from other artists, other like mediums as well. Like I took inspiration from 2D artists as well. Do that as well. And your stuff will start looking 10 times better, my guy. 10 times better. So yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching and goodbye.